check. Checking it out. Well, I'm certainly getting my money's worth on that free sound effect. Welcome to the John DuLong Show. Welcome to 2018. Episode number 10, guys. So pleased to have you with me here. It's a brand new year. It's going to be the first year of an episode every single week. We're not starting in October this time around. I'm John DuLong. Welcome to the show. Hope you had a very happy and healthy holiday season. I hope you enjoyed festivities last night. If you did intend to go out and celebrate, I hope you had a good and safe time. I hope you had a good Christmas if you celebrate that. If you don't, I suppose we're a few weeks back from Hanukkah, so I hope you had a good Hanukkah if you celebrate that. If you celebrate nothing in particular at this time of year, I hope you had a good Monday. I hope that you enjoyed the show last week, even though it was a bit different. This episode's going to be a little bit longer than normal. There's a few things that I want to get piled into this show. We're going to talk about 2017 as a whole. I'm going to do a Cheers and Jeers section for 2017. Also on the show today is a special report from my sister and brother-in-law who are in Mexico. Sent in an email to the show, and there's going to be some pictures that I'm going to put up on the Facebook page, facebook.com/The John DuLong Show. And also we're going to have a special guest appearance from Will Young of the Elwood City Limits podcast. He's bringing in the rules for being a good fan. So we're starting off the year right with a new set of the rules. I had a really good Christmas, guys. I actually had to work on Christmas Day itself, but I was able to spend sort of the earlier part of the day. I didn't have to work until the evening, so I was able to spend the earlier part of the day with my girlfriend and with her mother and one of her sisters and her roommate. We did gifts, and we did turkey. My girlfriend sort of knocked it out of the park in terms of gifts this year. She gave me the finest whiskey that I've ever tasted. It's called Writer's Tears. It's a very, very good, very, very good drink. And she also got me tickets to Our Lady Peace and Matthew Good at the Metro Center this year, or the Scotiabank Center, I guess. So if you know me, I've wanted to see Our Lady Peace live probably since I was like 15. And last year I went to go see Matthew Good playing through sort of what is the seminal album of the Matthew Good Band, Beautiful Midnight, which was just a really, really good show. So all in all, the girlfriend won Christmas in a big way. I gave her a couple of gifts. She seemed to enjoy them. One of them was sort of a tapestry for her wall with a big elephant on it. She likes elephants a lot, so there's that. I also got her a little piece of jewelry. And then another gift, which I'm giving to her later this week. We're going down to have sort of the family Christmas down in the valley with my folks and with my younger sister later this week. So she'll be getting her last gift there, as well as sort of the gifts for the family, which I'm looking forward to. It's always been kind of an interesting thing as I've sort of become an adult. We don't really celebrate Christmas on Christmas anymore. My family. It's not a big deal for me from a religious standpoint. I'm not at all religious, and my folks and my sister aren't really that religious either, so we just sort of do it when we can. What we do have is weird schedules, so usually a little bit before or a little bit after Christmas, and it's a little bit easier to get everybody together to do gifts and to do turkey, and we of course do we're a good Acadian family, so we do rapi pie as well. I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to the rest of the year. I'm looking forward to doing this show for you on a weekly basis. We're going to get into sort of the real thrust of the show. I'm recording this podcast. I'd sort of pre-recorded it, and then I decided, you know what, like there's some stuff that I want to cover that I didn't cover, so I'm actually recording this a little bit closer than I did any of the other shows over the holiday season. Those were all sort of banked shows, so this one's a little bit closer to the normal shebang. The episode with Will, with Luke, was really well received, and I'm really glad to have gotten really great reviews for that, and actually a really great feedback from the Christmas episode as well. A lot of you folks still tuned in, even though that was released on Christmas Day. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to enjoy the show. And once again, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for continuing to support this show. It's really great. It's really great to see. Well, like I said, we're 10 sort of real episodes in at this point, and to get the sort of consistent listenership that I have been is really humbling. I'm gonna get over saying this every couple of episodes, I'm sure, at some point, but it's really genuinely wonderful. I'd be doing this show if nobody was listening to it at this point, just because it's a really great hobby. I'm really enjoying it, but onwards and upwards. Anyhow, 2018 is going to look really great for the show. I've already got a couple of interviews in the can that we're going to be releasing over the next little while. In fact, I'll throw in a little teaser right now. Next Monday, the 8th, we're going to have Mike Tanner of One Red Cat Media. He's on the show. Had a great little chat with him, so we'll be talking to him about his podcast, about his business, about his philosophy of how to be a freelancer in this crazy gig economy world that we live in. So anyhow, I think that's going to be it for the beginning of the show ramble. We're going to hear a little bit of music, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Will Young. Will of the Elwood City Limits podcast is coming up next with the rules for being a good fan, and it's a cracker. It's a cracker, folks. I love it. So yeah, music is always from Mon Plaisir. We're back to the Mon Plaisir only from here on out.
Yeah, you tell him, John. Oh, hi there. Would you believe that this is the 6th take of this? My name's Will Young, and thank you for taking a moment to listen to me here on the John DuLong Show. Wow, so great to be back once again. Now, I couldn't help but get inspired. It's funny, the John DuLong Show, this isn't the first time that it's inspired me, and thankfully John has let me speak a little piece here. John, he has his segment, The Rules, and I have quite enjoyed them. He's got a lot of things to say, and he feels passionately about those rules, and I think you should definitely take them to heed. But I got to thinking, what kind of rules could I talk about? John's already done a couple of topics that are very, very important, especially in terms of customer service. That was actually going to be my idea, how to deal with customer service people, the rules for dealing with customer service, for being in that situation. But John took the words right out of my mouth. So I don't want to tread on any old ground. But I started to think about, what could I speak about that I am a definitive expert on? And it could be because of my incredibly low self-esteem, or just not being able to think of it right now. I'm not really an expert on hardly anything, except for today's topic of the rules. Special guest here, Will Young. You might know me from Elwood City Limits, the podcast about Arthur, which involves me being a big fan of Arthur. I'm a big fan of podcasts. I'm a big fan of a lot of things. I'm also big. I am a big man, a big fan, and I've got a big plan here today to tell you the rules for being a good fan. We're all a fan of something, right? And it doesn't have to be a TV show. It could be a movie. Maybe you're a fan of a sports team. Maybe you're a fan of a location, a place. Maybe even you're a fan of a certain food, a certain type of drink. There's a certain brand maybe that you love, that you are so passionate about. Maybe it's a certain piece of furniture, a certain style of clothing, a certain person, be they famous or somebody that you know. We're all a fan of something. And you don't have to think too long about it, I'm sure, to know what you are the biggest fan of in the whole wide world. But there are a few rules to being not just a fan of something, but a good fan. Because we all want to be good, right? If we're all fans, why not be good fans? So let's talk about it. Rule number 1 for being a good fan: like what you like. You know, it's weird how we get into all of these opinionated conversations about what we like and what we don't like, when really the things that we like are practically by chance. The things that we're drawn to, the things that become a big part of our lives, some of it we were just innately going to be fans of just because of who we were since the moment we were born. Now, of course, I want to put a disclaimer here. There are some things in this world that you shouldn't be fans of, that I believe go without saying. I'm speaking to the positive side of things, all of the stuff that I mentioned before and beyond. So in terms of being a good fan, let's say, well, like me, you might be a fan of comic books, or movies, or, like John and I, professional wrestling. You may be a sports fan. I could go on and on. But the important thing is to like what you like. There's a lot of negativity out there. And there always will be. Not just on the internet or what have you, but right here in our own lives. There will be reasons to not be a fan of what you like, what you genuinely like. So figure out why it is that you like what you like. Be able to explain it, not to other people, but to yourself. Whenever you wonder, why is it that I spend hours of my life devoted to this thing, or this person, or this lifestyle? Be prepared to answer yourself. And once you can do that, once you have the confidence to say, this is what I like, then everything's gravy. Or is it? Rule number 2. Sometimes because of the people that we are, there's something in this world that just rubs us the wrong way. If it's possible to be a fan of something, it's definitely possible to be not a fan of something. But what can be easy to forget is something that you hate, something that you absolutely despise, maybe for even the pettiest reason. Don't forget that nothing to you is everything to someone else. And when you just feel it bubbling up, when you can't keep that hate, that dislike, that contempt in your body for too much longer, you just have to say something. You have to tell it to the person that you know loves this thing and ask them why. Why? Why? Keep your hate to a minimum. There are definitely constructive criticisms to be made about everything. And constructive criticism is good. In fact, it's great. Sometimes it can allow us to be better people. Sometimes it can allow us to take a critical eye to something that, well, we love. And when you love something, you don't want to complain about it. You don't want to hear the bad things about it. But sometimes they are there, whether we want it to be or not. So when you have the opportunity to say something against something you don't like, just stop for a second. Take a deep breath. And keep your hate, keep your bad feelings to a minimum. If it's not constructive, if it isn't truly worth saying, if it's based off of negative emotions, then I beg you, please, reconsider the reasons why you would yuck anybody's yum, if you understand my phrasing. Thanks, Lucas. I still use that one. Number 3, sometimes something that we love becomes a big part of our life. And sometimes it can go a little too far. Keep boundaries between you and the things that you love. Whatever it may be, you need to make sure that the things you own don't own you. How's that for some dollar store Buddhism right there? But the